Well, a female goes through menstruation just like a butterfly comes out the cocoon. At that time, the butterfly comes out the cocoon. It is ready for mature life, and some will compare the menstruation is like that cocoon experience, saying, well, because we can't agree on the age, the female is ready when she starts menstruating. But what about the boys? And that's where we got you. What about the boys? You see what I'm saying? So people can do whatever they, based on that. It doesn't apply to boys. So why? So in wisdom, you have to allow adults, because now you have, and this is, I'm not being funny. Now you have the gay community, and this is no disrespect to them, but they can take advantage of these laws as well. So the age of consent being at 16 and 17 in America, those are boys. Fully grown gay men can have sex with them. You can't do nothing about it. You can do nothing about a gay man having sex with a 17-year-old kid in New York City. I know you don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. It's nothing you can do. It ain't nothing you can do. If the age of consent is at 17, a boy can have sex, a 17-year-old boy in New York City can have sex with a 65-year-old man. And by the way, a 17-year-old boy is not fully developed either. So a 65-year-old man can penetrate a 17-year-old undeveloped boy right here in New York City. It has nothing to do with sexual orientation. Gay or straight can take advantage of these laws. In other words, that's all the point I'm trying to make. Which has nothing to do with gay, when it comes to gay males, it has nothing to do with female administration. So a gay man being with a 16, 17-year-old kid, that's a boy, has nothing to do with administration. So you can't use the female part when you got the boy part hanging out. What about the boys? What about the 7-year-old boys in the state of Delaware that people could have sex with? Hey, I know it might have been taboo, but by law, if they went to, he may have been hated by his community and country, but by law, he could have sex with a 7-year-old boy. In the state of Delaware in 1880, if it would have came down to the president, and it would have, and this case would have been real big, bigger than life, where a man in the state of Delaware in 1880 had sex with a 7-year-old boy. If it went up to the highest levels of the judicial systems, then it would have been determined that he was 7 years old. And that was the age of consent at that time. You see that? You see that? So all the stuff that you think you're doing, your country is about to be shut down. I'm sorry to tell you. You're in the process. You want me to tell you who's in the process? You're in the process of being destroyed. You got COVID-19 with 6 million deaths. 6 million deaths worldwide. 6 million plus. 6,200,000 plus worldwide. You got America. You got 61 million cases of COVID. No, I'm sorry. You got 600 million cases of COVID. That's more than the whole population of America. 600 million. 500 million. 500 million. 500 and I think 41 million. That's the whole, the American community is 333 million people. That's almost double the American community in COVID cases. And you talk about, you got people in the process. Buddy, y'all in the process of destruction. You can listen to these politicians if you want to. You can listen to these people if you want to. While you waiting for me to slip up and make a mistake, your country is already destroyed from the mistakes they made. If we in a competition, I already won. You got 44 states marrying children. Did I not win right there? As far as proving who's the pedophiles, did I not win? You passed it through laws. That means somebody had to get up, take a shower, eat breakfast, and decide to pass 44 states marrying children. Can you imagine the conscience of that person? Can you imagine the conscience of the person that takes a shower, eats breakfast, and says, I got to pass 40 states having sex with children in America? Can you imagine the recent conscience of this government? July 1st, 2019, with no minimum age for adults to marry children. Doesn't matter if the parents give consent. It's the fact that it's allowed. It is the fact that it's a possibility. Period. Basically, in essence, all around. It's the fact that it's a possibility. And it still is a possibility. That's all we talk about. And it should not be a possibility. That's what we talking about. Yeah, it's no way around this, man. It's no if it can happen, and the laws are making it happen. It's no way around it. These are not isolated acts of pedophilia. These are laws that embody pedophilia activity. We defined it by law. We defined it by the definition. Adults having sex with children. Adults having sexual desire for children. Bottom line, whether you accept it or not, that's what it is. Just like you got all kind of phobias and fears and different other things that people do, there's definitions that define them being whatever else they are. They got any kind of phobias. You got phobias of snakes, phobias of this, phobias of that. You are defined as one of those people having those phobias by your activity, by your pushing away from this, or your emotions concerning what you're afraid of, specifically with phobias. But you have to have some type of motion, real-time motion, to be defined by that. Right? Words. You have to have words and motions, not thoughts. You can't, and so we above those levels. We don't care about what you think about what's on somebody's mind. I don't care what you think about that. That's what makes you a cornball. You a cornball. You trying to mentally catch somebody while we got you by law. We got you by law, buddy. You good as dead. Yeah, while you trying to catch us mentally with no activity, no real time. Who you think stupid enough to think that they're a pedophile by thoughts? When you got laws that allow 44 states to marry children. When you got another law that allows 40 states with the age of consent under 18, and you got the world record for the lowest age of consent. Who you think you're playing with? I personally wouldn't care what. Look, these days we don't know who puts stuff on people's mind. They got all kind of mind technology. They got all kind of psychics and witches and warlocks playing psychological game. I'm not going by nobody's thoughts. And in wisdom, I know God is not either, because he know the games that you're playing. He know specifically the psychological games that you're playing. Boom. He's going by the actions. I'm going by the actions as his servant. And by actions, you have 44 states marrying the children. You got 40 states with the age of consent under 18. And you got the world record. And you got 20 states. These are 4 laws right here. And you got 20 states allowing no minimum age. And you worried about, you think you're going to catch somebody mentally. You know how much of a Tom and Jerry cartoon character you look like? You look like a cartoon character. A McDonald's cartoon character. A McDonald's eating cartoon, McChicken, McFries, make any of that other stuff. You are a McDonald's cartoon character. We got you by law, big baby. While you rode around being sponsored by McDonald's. What you sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts? This is Dunkin' Donut investigation. That's what I call it. When they start playing around people with that little foolishness they doing, that's a Dunkin' Donut investigation. Dunkin' Donut investigating bastards. While we got you by law, partner. That's the big dog. That's the real lion. We called your government. We got your government, buddy. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because you sitting up here hooping and hollering, thinking about what you can get psychologically out of a person. So when we call you on this, you gotta eat it. You got to. Because you sitting up hooping and hollering what you think you can get psychologically. And it ain't gonna work. We got you by law, partner. And don't you forget it. Because I don't think you understand the difference. That's why this is a perfect war. Because I don't have to use one gun. I don't have to hurt nobody. And you are completely wiped out. When you got the majority of the country, 44 states, marrying children. Marrying. You wiped out. This is the perfect war. No bullets. And here's the punchline, holding you accountable to the laws that you passed. Not my assumptions about you. Not, they got some coke going on, or they got something going. None of that. That's what makes it different. I'm not assuming anything. Like the other whistleblowers. I don't have to go run jumping gates trying to see what you're doing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to leave this apartment. And you are good as defeated. Because it's by your laws. You see that? That's what there has not been a war concerning laws as flawless and victorious as this is. Where we hold them, not because they don't allow us to have rights, and laws don't allow us to have rights. Not that. Laws that directly allow them to marry and have sex with your children. How can they win? You explain to me how they gonna wiggle themselves out of this when the whole community finds this out. All the Snoop Dogs of the world, yeah, Snoop Dogg used to coach the Little League team. I'm pretty sure he'd be interested after coaching these kids that his state allows no minimum age for marriage. And it doesn't matter if it's with parent consent. It's the fact that it's a possibility. I'm pretty sure Snoop will be very interested in these laws. Unlike you. Yeah, you're quiet because it's convenient for you to be quiet. Because you've been playing the enemy. You thought it was me that was the pedophile, and it's them. Boom. Pretty sure all these big brothers that go out and mentor kids, I'm pretty sure they would be very interested to know that 44 states allows child marriage. Pretty sure they'd be interested in you having the world record in all record-keeping history in all civilization. You have the lowest age of consent. Pretty sure they'd be very interested in that information. That's why it's just a matter of time. It's all just a matter of time. And guess what? Here's why it's the perfect war. Good-hearted people are going to be on my side. people that are in a good conscience, whether they like me or not, I'm not asking you to like me. Did I say at any time, oh, like me, oh, love me? Did I ask for your love? Did I ask you to like me? Did I insinuate you liking me? Did I insinuate you loving me? No, I didn't. You got to be on my side because it's the truth, it's the facts, it's a perfect war, and it's the laws that they passed that I'm holding them to. No one else did it better. I don't care who you name. No one else got them like this. It's no way out. I don't care what you say. And good people, military, police, I called the police. You think he's worried about the little psychological stuff that they doing to me, trying to catch me in a mental psychological pedophilia? You think he worried about what they trying to do? Putting images in my mind with spiritual and physical technology? You think he worried about that? No, he worried about these laws. That the cops is worried about 44 states marrying children. The cops is worried about 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children while they running out here trying to protect them. And where I'm from in the South, that's called putting the cart before the horse. That's called putting the cart before the horse when the police running out here on the beat trying to protect children but fighting against themselves, but they government fighting against them. With 44 states marrying them, 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children, and 20 states allowing no minimum age for people to marry children, and you know ain't no compatibility there, and you know it's nothing but sex. In other words, the government is fighting against the police. Their job. Because ain't no police out here in their good conscience can tell me they're cool with 44 states marrying children. Ain't no cop can tell me you're cool with 40 states allowing the age of consent to be under 18. Ain't no cop out here can tell me you're cool with the world record being in your country for the lowest age of consent. It's no, in all civilization. Ain't no cop can tell me they cool with that. Ain't no cop can tell me that. There's no way in the world you can convince a good cop. And let's get to the lawyers. All these judges. You think these judges, and see, I hold you accountable. All the judges across the land, yes, I hold you accountable. Because it's your job to know these laws. It's your job. All these judges over the years, see, that's what I'm saying. You got to check and see what they're into. Secret societies, all that stuff, yeah. You need to start checking out these judges and seeing what they're into. Because how can they sit there when they deal with child sexual crime cases, but don't know 44 states allowing adults to marry children? But you can't say you don't know 40 states, the age of consent is under 18. You can't, you shouldn't be able to say you didn't know as a judge in America that America has the lowest age of consent for sex in all record-keeping civilizations. So that's the judges right there. Who else? The lawyers, you too. You should, it's your job to know the law. You are a lawyer. First three words, lawyer, law. You a lawyer. You a lawyer and don't know the law? You don't know 44 states marry children. You don't know the age of consent is under 18 in 40 states. All you prosecuting people. Yeah, I'm getting to you. You quick to prosecute somebody. But yet you got 44 states marrying children. But yet you got 40 states with the age of consent under 18, and you got the 20 states allowing no minimum age, and you got the world record in all civilizations for the lowest age of consent in sex, and you're trying to prosecute who? This is why anarchy is on the horizon. Because you don't have the right to enforce anything. How are you going to enforce this pedophile when you got 44 states marrying children and you know it ain't nothing but about sex, which defines that union as pedophilia, a pedophilia union. It ain't companionship. It ain't companionship. But you going down somewhere else downtown trying to find a pedophile. You should be tired of your country and tired of yourself. That's how I feel. You should be tired of yourself. Here we go again. America doing something they shouldn't be doing. Now you find out they messing around me. Here we go again. Then come to find out they the ones doing all the stuff. You should be tired of these people by now. They've done it all. They've enslaved people. Let's go through the history of what all they've done. This is why you should be tired. This is why you should ask them to resign, because there's nothing else left they can do. What else can they do for you to call them to resign? What is left? There's nothing left. They came here. Let's go to the beginning. Worst thing they could have did, they did it. Came here and wiped out, killed everybody, and took over the country. Good Native American indigenous people. Destroyed their where they originally were, deceived them in many ways. That's what they first did. Then they brought Africans over here and enslaved them, whipped them, beat them, pain that you couldn't even take. Pain that you would die from. You would die from shock. You can't go, first of all, you couldn't go through slavery because you would die from the pain. You couldn't make it. You would die from exhaustion out in the fields. You know how long they stayed out in them cotton fields? Till it was done. Till whatever that slave master wanted done. I imagine they were probably out there at night sometimes. Probably. Pretty sure they were. Do the best you can. And they did that. They raped people. They raped the girls. You know they did. Man, come on, man. It don't take a rocket scientist to know that. They raped the kids. They raped the children. Yes, they did. Oh, so they just let them just dance in the lilies. They let them dance in the daisies. Man, come on, man. They had no mercy. They made men have sex with their own mothers. And I'm not trying to be vulgar in this video, but that's where we get the term motherfucker. Motherfucker came from the slave master forcing, sometimes to the point where some slaves died from exhaustion, sexual exhaustion. The term comes from the slave master forcing a man to have sex with his own mother. He had to put his penis in the very place that he came out from the world into the world. Can you imagine that? If you were forced to have sex with your mother, this is what America did. Then they lynched, and mobbed against black people after slavery, so all the time, a long time. And then they set up systems and everything to entrap non-white people, all kind of stuff, experimenting, preventing them from good wages, a living wage. You know what a living wage is? A living wage is a certain amount of money that you're paid so that you're able to actually live not go buy food, not buy groceries like half of a lot of black people did. All they could do is live with somebody else and buy groceries. We ain't talking about that. A living wage is when you make enough to go get an apartment and take care of yourself. You know how long a lot of black people never had a living wage? Yeah, I'm going to be talking about that too. And then we find out, drum roll, after we thought they could do no more, all the injustice they did to black people, now we find out 44 states is marrying children. This is new news for a lot of you. This is new tragedy for a lot of you. Then we find out 40 states, the age of consent is under 18. Then we find out 20 states has allowed adults to marry children with no minimum age. And they have the world record for the lowest age of consent for sex. And this was after slavery. They've done it all. We're asking for them to resign. That's all. That's all I'm asking. We're asking for you've done it all. You've killed, you've shed blood here on this country. I know it's hard for you to believe because America is now like a little circus. All it is like a consumer circus. All that out there is set up for you to spend money. Step outside, take a look. It's not for your enjoyment. All these businesses are set up ultimately for the government to make money. It's a big consumer circus. That's why you always buying stuff. That's why you're always buying stuff. That's why you're always looking for entertainment. They've made you a consumer, which is a slave too, to me. You're just a consumer. Go outside. Take a look outside. All these businesses are set up for you to buy something. Not for you to be helped. Not for your life to be better. There's nothing out there designed really for your life to be better, right? I don't see it. What I see is all over the country a design for you to be the consumer. That's all this is. They don't care about you. If they care about black kids, why are they still in the ghetto? They care. America cares about. It's easy to look. It's easy to assume this. They only care about white children. They're not protecting your black children. You would think they would pull them out of harm's way, right? If they don't like, even some racist people, if they don't like the black adults, they can at least like the black children, right? Okay, so then why they haven't pulled black people out of the ghetto for the sake of the children? They don't care. I guarantee you if it was white children and they was ducking bullets and all of that, I guarantee you if it was white children, they would have been got rid of the ghetto. The ghetto should have been gone in the 70s almost. Definitely on into the 80s and 90s. It shouldn't have been no ghettos. The ghettos then, I assume, it is safe to assume this, is for a sense of control over non-white people. That's all it is. Now they can keep their eye on you. They know exactly where you are. Because if you spread out through the country, you got to remember, racism is still in the government. Racism is still in the perspective of the people that have power over you. So if you get spread all over the country, then you might be able to rise to power and overtake this country. And so they got you in a concentrated place where they got police monitoring you and nothing but violence and drugs coming in and guns coming in. And it could have been done with the ghetto. And if they love your children, like I said, if it was white children, they would have been done with it. You think they're going to have white children running from gunshots? Imagine that. You can't even picture it. You can't even picture that. You can't even picture white children running for cover from gunshots. You can't even imagine white children walking among pimps and killers and thugs and gangsters. And yet, that's what black kids do in the hood all the time. They're right there where the killers at. They're right there where the gangsters at. The gangsters see them. Sometimes give them money. A lot of times, gangsters take care of the kids in the neighborhood. They're right there with them. You wouldn't have white kids right there with them, and that's no disrespect to gangsters. You wouldn't have white kids right there, and that's what I'm saying. They've done everything. You can't believe nothing they say. That's real, because at the end of the day, this was a plantation. That's what you got to remember. At the end of the day, that's what we care about, right? That's what we care about. We care about the end of the day, not the morning, not the afternoon. We care about the end results, the bottom line. And the bottom line is this place was a plantation at one time. The whole thing, basically, concerning non-white people. Let us not forget that right here, not nowhere else, not on another planet, on the same soil, and you probably can find the bones of slaves. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure the bones of slaves are in the soil of America somewhere. So you telling me ain't no bones of slaves in the soil? And you got dinosaur bones from a million years ago. You got dinosaur bones from a million years ago. Right here in America. But you ain't got no slave. You ain't no slave. There's slave cemeteries, by the way. So definitely there's slaves that's properly buried in slave cemeteries that were people that were officially slaves. But I feel like there's also lost slave bones for people that died trying to escape, died trying to run away. Think about it. It's got to be.